the side. If it's coming from the back, you pull it to the back. So this is coming out to the side. You're going to get the flat of your brush, and you're going to do again like I did before. Start around the middle, and you're just going to paint it on in little sweeping motions. When you get to this part, I normally flip my brush around and you can get the colour from that side too. And you're still doing your little W or V, whatever you've been taught, in that shape. And saturate the ends through. It is then up to you if you want to lift it and check that the underneath has got it, which I usually would, as well as the girls said earlier when they've done it before, it has had patches where it's been a bit yellowy or orangey, and that's just your saturation, you've not put enough on. So you can lift it out, keep hold of it, and then drag the underneath too. And just make sure it's all over the ends, then you're going to let it drop. Sorry, what's your name? Leonie said before she'd seen a video on Instagram where they put cling film in between. So you can do that. For one, if you don't feel confident that it's not going to transfer. And another one is the heat will help it develop a bit faster. So if you want the extra lift, you can put cling film in between, or you can even use a foil if you wanted to. I'll show you a bit further up because it's a bit tricky on the outside. Usually, if I had the full head with freehand, I'd do the full block at the bottom and then start working my way up. But obviously, because we've done half of the foliage, I'm just going to use that. So if you only have like a little bit like this, you're literally just going to do a little bit. You can't really do too much of a W or a V on this, so you're just kind of going to give it a little sweepy through and really concentrate on the ends. When you're blending down, I've seen a lot of you this morning with the foils scooping down, you need to scoop up and get it out of the way, because if your client wants it closer to the root, you're going to find it hard to get that drag, whereas you're always going to have room to lift up. With the freehand, I always use a higher peroxide just because it's off the head. So the further it is down the head, the higher peroxide you need, because
no heat, never.
Because the further away from your scalp you get, the more you lose the head heat, so it stops it developing as quickly. So even with lighter bases, I do tend to go higher, just so it definitely does take. You can always take it off sooner, but once the lift is gone, the lift is gone. And then I'm going to leave this negative space in between, then you get the lightness of it. You could, if you wanted to, weave out a little bit more and do a slight tip out if you wanted to, if you didn't want to leave too much in between. But 9 times out of 10, if you're having freehand, you will not need that lightness because you're already quite light anyway. And you're going to do your back comb. And you're going to start at the middle. Like I'm doing, I'm pulling out now, so I pulled to the side before, now I'm pulling down. Keep hold of that tension. And when I paint it on, I paint it down. But when I'm blending, I flick up. If you can do freehand over foils, it will save you so much time. Always have a towel at the side of you to wipe your hands, then you're not getting it all over the rest of the hair. And then you're going to get your other section. And because there's no foil in it, there's not really a thing of it needs to be this thickness or whatever, because you're not going to get a foil in it, but you've got to be realistic as how much you can saturate the hair. So if you take too much of a bigger section, it's not going to saturate properly and it's not going to lift very nice. So stick to what you normally would do with a foil, just so you get the good saturation on it. Start in the middle and then start dragging up. With a clear lightener, I know you lot might not be able to use a clear lightener right now. It is easier because it is a bit thicker. And then higher up at the sides. You can always go over the ends. The difference is with the balayage, with the foliage that you did this morning, you can open the foils, and if it's not taken enough, you can reapply and fold it back. With this you can't, so you've got to make sure that you've applied enough. So you can see there, that's kind of, I caught that with my comb, but because it's gone hard, it's not disturbed it. So middle again. I'd rather you do bits at a time and add than slopping it all on and it going everywhere and you're having too much. It is up to you if you do what I did last time and get a dry brush and get rid of any lines, and then make sure you go over the bits that you have been holding. You can do this in the diagonal as well. So you cover more surface area so it takes you less time. Do you all use different brands where you work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because some brands don't have a clear liner. So you could just do your bleach a bit thicker than normal. But also if you're doing that, you're just got to remember that your peroxide has got to be higher, just so it does cover with it being thicker. Once I get to the top, I do start taking a little bit finer sections just so it lies nicer. Is anybody left-handed?
Hey.
Yeah, do you find it difficult doing this sort of stuff, or does it not?
To be honest, no, not really.
No, that's good then. I had a girl that was left-handed before in one of my classes, and she just couldn't get how I was doing it. She couldn't switch it to left, so that's a good thing that you're alright. And even this, the way it is even though this is a bit messier, it's so quick. Always make sure that you wipe in between your fingers as well, because it transfers really quickly. So just leave a small section in between there. You could, if you wanted to, when you got to the top, do it as a weave if you wanted it really, really fine. But I like with freehand doing it as a slice. And that is really it through the back. The front, like I did with the back, if you did want to do a slight face frame, it doesn't have to be like it would be foil. So because obviously if you're putting a foil in, you need it really neat and next to your face. This has to be neat. You can't just slap it on, and it has to be fine. Which is difficult on a doll's head. Let's see how much comes out of it on the back corner. Actually. So your face frame, you've got to think as well, this hair goes back. So even though you apply it like this, you always want to lift it up and check, because you can see where it'd go catch it. And then you're gonna just go in and go over it. And then flick in like you would do. Bring it back over and saturate again. Always saturate after you've had hold of it, because you will have taken colour off even if you don't realise. So you need to make sure that the last thing you do is drop it and you're not holding it.